Most people over 50 aren't stuck because they don't want change. They're stuck because they're busy. Today, I'm showing you a three-step system called Reach, Risk, Record. It's the difference between motion, which keeps you safe, and momentum, which actually moves you forward. And at the 4-minute mark, I'll give you a simple litmus test you can use right now to know whether you're taking real action or just staying comfortable. So I hope you hang around. Because here's the truth: if there's no risk of failure, it's not real action. In 2006, I had this brilliant idea for a boutique health and fitness gym. On site trainers, nutritionist, weight loss doctor, fully integrated. I spent almost a year building the perfect business model. That plan is sitting on a hard drive somewhere, gathering digital dust. You know what I never did? I never called a single bank, never reached out to one nutritionist, never visited a property. Let me show you what I should have done instead. Are you ready? Here we go. The first thing, reach. Reach creates the conditions. You're not performing yet, you're just opening the door. You register for an event, you send an email, you schedule a meeting, or you walk into a room full of people. Reach moves your goal out of your head and into the world, but you haven't exposed yourself yet. You haven't taken the real risk. You've basically just created space and set the stage. For my gym, reach would have been schedule a meeting with a bank, email a nutritionist, visit a property, ask for information. None of that was the scary part. It was just showing up. I never even did that. I mean, that's just plain old sad. The second is risk, and this is where it kind of gets real for all of us because risk is not reckless, it is exposure. You speak up at that meeting or in that room full of people. You ask the real question. You share your idea out loud. You admit you're starting something new and don't have all the answers yet. That's real risk. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're just interrupting the pattern of invisibility. And that pattern of invisibility, that's where motion is. So this is where faith gets built because discomfort is proof you're actually acting. So if you're not uncomfortable, you're probably in, motion, not momentum. For my gym, risk would have been walk into that bank meeting and pitch the concept, sit down with a nutritionist and propose a partnership, share the vision at a networking event where people could say no, laugh at me, or say, you know what, that's a pretty damn good idea. That stuff can be terrifying because it's uncomfortable. And that's also where momentum lives, the thing that moves you forward. And here's the difference: planning can't fail, research can't fail, perfecting a business model on your computer, that can't fail. But calling a bank, yep, that can fail. Sharing your vision, yeah, that can fail. And asking someone to partner with you, that definitely can fail. If there's no risk of failure, it's not real action, it's just sophisticated avoidance. Now, if you're still here, you're already different. Most people clicked away the moment I said uncomfortable, but you're still watching, which tells me you already know safe work keeps you stuck. Let me show you the third step, and most people skip this one. Record. You just took a risk, you felt awkward, exposed, maybe it didn't go the way you hoped, and your brain is already rewriting the story, telling you it went way worse than it did. Our brain does that sometimes. Record stops that spiral. So this is private. It's not for social media. It's just you and the truth. And you jot down the answers to 3 questions. You write 3 sentences, basically. What I did, what I felt, what actually happened. And then you'll note one win, even if it's tiny, and then you identify one next small step. That's it. Record captures reality before fear distorts it. For my gym idea, record would have been, I don't know. I met with a bank. I felt nervous and underprepared. They asked questions I couldn't answer yet, but they didn't say no. So the win would be I showed up. And the next step would be research their questions and schedule a follow-up so I can answer them the next time. Now, I never got there because I never even started. I did a lot of work, but I never took the risk. Fear made those decisions, and I just went along with it because planning felt smart, thorough, and safe. And in a way, it was. But safe work can't change your life. Only real action can. All right, here's the litmus test I promised at the top. Safe work is planning, researching, strategizing, perfecting privately. If you're doing those things, you are in motion, not momentum. Real action is contact, visibility, conversation, exposure. If you're doing those things, that's risk and you are in momentum. So that's the way you know the difference. Safe work will feel productive. Real action feels uncomfortable. There's that word again. But real action moves you for all the right reasons. So think about any major goal you've achieved in your life. There was a decision, there was action that exposed you to risk, and there was a moment when you stopped being the person who wanted it and became the person who had it. So you already know how to do this. You didn't plan your way in, you acted your way in. True action moves your furniture to a whole other room. Safe planning keeps you rearranging it in the same room. Which one do you want? I know which one I want. So you don't need to see the whole path. You just need to take the step in front of you. The path unfolds because you move. Now, I know that sounds like a coffee mug quote, but it's also just plain ass true. And when you take that step, even when it's scary, it feels amazing afterwards because the act itself is proof that you are alive and moving. Knowledge without decision is just more noise. You already know what to do. The question is now whether you'll decide to do it. Hey, download this week's free worksheet in the description below. It's awesome. It's got an infographic. It walks you through reach, risk, record, and it helps you identify one uncomfortable action you can commit to this week. It includes a declaration, a question prompt for you to consider, and even an AI prompt to go deeper and help you figure out which action steps you should take for the goal you're working on. So do the work, record what happens, then move again. Next week, we'll talk about what happens when you keep moving. Until then, be well and blessings. And thanks for hanging out with me today.